Welcome to this week's segment of the Rip-Off of the Week. And it's a great segment this week, the Los Angeles County Lifeguards. So we're going to visit the fun, the surf, and the sand of the LA County beaches and just how much money those lifeguards are costing taxpayers. But first of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Adam Andrzejewski. I'm the CEO and founder of OpenTheBooks.com. And at OpenTheBooks.com, you know our mission. It's every dime online in real time. And last year, our auditors filed 40,000 Freedom of Information Act requests on nearly every single substantial public body in this country. And we successfully captured $6 trillion of federal, state, and local spending so you can follow the money, so you can hold the political class accountable for tax and spend decisions. And we have a big job to do. It is a target-rich environment. And this piece on LA County lifeguard pay shows just how high a mountain all of us have to climb. Okay, I want to introduce my co-host, Tamara Colbert.
Good evening, Adam. It's great to be back. And of course, we aren't talking about Baywatch. We are talking about Paywatch. And being a lifeguard in Southern California, specifically Los Angeles County, is very lucrative. What are we talking about?
Well, we're talking about lifeguards on the beach that make up to $392,000 all in every year at taxpayer cost. That's salaries and perquisites and health insurance and extra benefits like free sunscreen allowance. And of course, the lucrative lifetime pension at the end of the rainbow. There's that big pot of gold, and that's the pension. We're going to break it down here today. Look, our auditors, we found 7 lifeguards made more than $300,000 last year, and 81 lifeguards made more than $200,000 in 2019. And that's the latest year available.
So we're talking overtime. Is that what's driving these huge salaries? What is it? Because I'm really regretting my choice. I wish I would have been a lifeguard at this point.
Well, the second most highly paid lifeguard made $365,000 all in at taxpayer cost last year. And that included a high salary, but it also included $134,000 worth of OT, overtime. So think about this. Not only do you have a big salary, all these perks, all these benefits, a pension at the end of the day, but if you want to work longer hours in the fun and sun on the beach, you can do that to the tune of $134,000. We found 31 of these lifeguards that made overtime of between 50 grand and 134,000 last year. That second most highly compensated lifeguard that made all that overtime, we took a look at the last 5 years. And incredibly, over the course of the last 5 years, he has reaped $630,000 in overtime pay alone.
Wow. I mean, I'm just completely stunned here. Can you tell us about the retirement pensions? What are the rules? Because obviously, when you're making that kind of $392,000 a year in pension benefits, overtime pay, that's got to be significant for your pension for the future.
Well, all these pensions at the end of the day, if this practice continues, these lifeguards are going to be making a lot of money for the rest of their life on their retirement pension. Look, in California, in LA, these lifeguards are considered first responders. They are a part of the LA County Fire Department. So here's the pension benefits of the fire department. With 20 years in, you can retire on half of your cash compensation at age 50 for the rest of your life. And that also would be increased by cost of living adjustments every single year in retirement. Think about this. If you're 20 years old and if you retire at age 50 as a lifeguard out of the LA County Fire Department, you'll have 30 years in. You can get 80% of your cash compensation with cost of living adjustments for the rest of your life. Tamara, this thing's unsustainable. Taxpayers in LA County, these lifeguards are milking them like a dairy cow.
Absolutely. So how do these guys compare against elected officials, city council? I want to talk, the local area before I ask you about Florida. So city officials, city of Los Angeles, county, how do those salaries compare with other officials?
It's absolutely crazy in LA. I want to preface this by saying in the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Act that just passed Congress and
Right.
Biden signed, no Republican votes on this thing. There's $3.5 billion of our money that Congress allocated to the city of Los Angeles and to the county of Los Angeles, a tremendous amount of money. The lifeguards are employed through the county. Here's an update on this, on the highly compensated city workers. You can
Okay.
be a tree trimmer in the city of LA and make up to 113 grand on cash compensation. That's salary plus overtime. You can
Wow.
be you can be a I'm sorry, you could be a painter at 113,000. You could be a tree trimmer at 207,000. There are LA County police officers that in 2019, not during the riot year of 2020, but in 2019 made 325,000. You got firefighters that made up to up to 470,000. You've got an aide, a special aide to the city council that made 400,000. And topping it all off, you got boat harbor pilots. They help navigate the big ships in and out of the LA harbor. They made up to 515 grand.
I don't even know what to say to that. Every week, rip off of the week, we talk about these numbers, and right now I'm thinking, how quickly could I get my harbor pilot license for LA? Oh my goodness. So there's an interesting twist here before we get to Florida and comparing these guys. But what are the Medal of Valor lifeguards? Can you explain that?
Yeah, so America loves a hero. And look, oftentimes lifeguards, especially these ocean lifeguards, they're put on the worst rescues, right? Big surf, things like that.
Right.
So the Medal of Valor every year is awarded to the lifeguard or two that does the most heroic rescue. So we took a look at if the big earners were actually the heroes, the guys winning the Medal of Valor award, right? And they're not. So last year, Nick Manko, I mean, he rescued this fisherman, sharp rocks, massive surf. He got him to safety, saved the guy's life. His pay is actually ranked 168th out of 1,000 lifeguards in LA County. So the big earners, they're not even the heroes.
Wow. I mean, that's something else though. Medal of Valor lifeguards. I learned that reading through Open the Books audit of LA County lifeguards. So how do those lifeguard salaries fare with, say, Florida?
Yep. And I don't think we need to shed a tear for Nick Manko. He made all in at taxpayer cost $135,000. So he was well compensated for being a Medal of Valor lifeguard in 2020. So if you take a look at the LA County lifeguards and at openthebooks.com, we've got 23 million public employee salary and pension records in our database. So our team of auditors pulled the job title of lifeguard from around the country. We wanted to know how the LA County lifeguards stacked up against the lifeguards, say, in New York City. Well, in New York City, the top paid lifeguard made $168,000. Still way too much money, but it's not $392,000. So we took a look at the entire state of Florida. In the entire state of Florida, the top paid lifeguard made $118,000. Still too much money, but it's not $392,000. And this shows you the difference between Florida as a fiscally well-run state, the lifeguard only made up to $120,000, versus New York and California, where they're making multiples of that. And it also shows why people are so upset at Congress for bailing out blue states, the fiscally mismanaged states with billions of dollars of our money.
I'm still shocked. So 3.2 billion from this recent stimulus check went to LA County, LA City, of which these lifeguards, these 1,000 plus highly compensated lifeguards, are part of that, correct?
That's right. And also, the LA City police chief, he got a special deal blessed by the mayor, Eric Garcetti. In future years, Garcetti is going to run for the Democratic nomination for president. He's very ambitious. Garcetti blessed what I'm going to talk about next. He allowed this guy, the police chief, to retire and then rehired him in the same position 30 days later, which allows him to double dip his pension and continue to receive it and his salary. Last year, all in, because of that, he made $550,000. But that's not the end of the story. by retiring, he got to cash in his sick and vacation days that were unused. He got another $170,000 in a lump sum. And he also was able to take, I believe it was $1.1 million in an additional lump sum of cash. Garcetti blessed that scheme, and that is a moral outrage.
Oh my goodness, that is an outrage. I haven't seen that anywhere. That has not been on any of our papers. We're always looking at California because they are the last checkbook that we need to be able to investigate. So obviously they've got a lot of stuff going on there, which is why Open the Books has got to be able to get that checkbook and investigate California thoroughly. What can taxpayers do? Obviously, today we're talking about California, but I think there's a connection federally with what's going on and money being spent. So I see a double duty for our folks watching tonight.
So it's a great point. Come to openthebooks.com and sign our petition to force Congress to actually read the bills, to give at least 72-hour timeout so we can see what's in the bill. You see, if we had that on the American Rescue Act, we would have known the 30,000 localities like LA, the city and the county, that are receiving $3.5 billion of our money. And we could have rushed out the lifeguard piece. We could have been a part of that debate on that piece. So we don't have a representative republic if our representatives do not simply read what they are voting on or have the time to read what they're voting on. So that's key. The second thing is, look, around the entire country, your local officials, we have their pay, we have their names, their position titles, what they make every single year. We've got at least 3 years of that history on our website. Right in your own municipality, your own school district, you can look this up. There's a special search video top of our news feed at openthebooks.com. It's very easy to use, our search tool. The video even shows you how to do it if you're having problems. Look them up and then hold them accountable. Those two things.
Absolutely. That's great advice. Again, openthebooks.com. Go there. Open the Books does not take one dime of any money from the federal government. We are doing the hard work that Congress has actually refused to do, which is really following the money and being frugal and responsible and accountable to the taxpayers. Adam, another great segment for Ripoff of the Week. Any last parting comments from you?
Yeah, join us back here next Thursday, 4:30 Central. Obviously, we were 15, 20 minutes late today because Facebook went down today. So see us back 4:30 Central next week.
See you then, everybody. Openthebooks.com.